Hello everyone, welcome to English listening and speaking class with Miss Anjar. So today's topic is about how to begin producing hortatory exposition text. So we'll be looking at the steps and how you should construct an exposition text. So now we're going to have a look at the purpose. Please keep in mind that the purpose of hortatory exposition is to persuade the listeners that something should be or should not be the case. Therefore, you should convince the listeners by building a good argument, usually by using logic, using emotions, and appealing to someone's value or character. As you have watched the video speech, that's also one of the examples of hortatory exposition text. Okay, so let's see. The first thing you have to do to make this text, to make a speech, is make the outline. So following the generic structure of hortatory exposition text is thesis, or there are thesis, arguments, and recommendations. So the first thing you have to do is developing a thesis statement. So what is a thesis statement? Have you heard of this before? So basically, thesis statement is like your claim, your stance, your position in that context. So mainly it consists of one sentence in the first paragraph. So this is the example of a thesis statement. I took it from Greta's video. So here the sentences in blue, those are the thesis statements. And then moving on to the argument. So this is the way how you develop or you present your argument. According to Aristotle, to present the arguments, you have to use logic, emotions, and appeal to someone's value or character. So therefore, usually emotive words are commonly used to persuade or influence someone. Okay, now let's see how to construct the argument. The first thing you have to do is to consider the context of this situation. Who are the listeners? Who are the speaker? Or who's the speaker? And medium, where you want to share this. And then the purpose, their purpose. And then the message subject, what message you want to deliver. And then if you have considered those things, that's the context, the situation, and then you can clarify your thinking and constructing a claim. So you can decide the position or your claim on that subject. And then you have to also provide the key points of your evidence. So you have to find the data in order to support your claim, right? And then please cite your sources. So you have to refer to some reliable, valid ones, yeah. And also you can address the positions. And also you can use images that are relevant to your topics. Now moving on to the examples of arguments. These are the main points that I took from Greta's video about the climate change. So these are the main points of your arguments to support your claim. And then you have to provide the evidence for each main point. For example, nature is a tool we can use to repair our broken climate only if we also leave the fossil fuels on the ground. So mention the evidence. What are the evidence that you found? So that evidence is the data that you found, and then you come up with that main point. Okay, now the last part is the recommendation. So basically, when you want to end your text, and you can use some recommendation suggestions by using the models that we have learned. Modal verb like should, shouldn't, have to, must. Or you can use also some other common verbs like suggest, urge, encourage, and recommend, suggest, and the other verb like need. Okay, so this is the examples that I took from Greta's video, and she said that what should we do What should you do? It's simple. We need to blah 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 blah. So you can also use imperative language, like commands, like restore, fund, protect. So those are imperative language. And we move on to the language features that commonly used in hortatory exposition text. The first one is using emotive language. Okay, so emotive language usually used to influence or persuade someone by using a certain words that can make your sentence stronger. Okay, we'll have a look at the examples of emotive language. Okay, so like this. Okay, when you want to say the men were killed, that's not emotive language, but if you want to make it more stronger, you can say the victims were executed in cold blood. So it's more stronger. It's stronger than when you say the men were killed. Okay, now let's see another examples of emotive language. So, for example, he left his children. So if you want to make it stronger, you can use emotive language, abandon. So replace the word left with the word abandoned. Alright, so your sentence would feel stronger if you say he left his children. So it's not really strong than when you say she abandoned her children. So in hortatory exposition text, usually present tenses are commonly used. For example, simple present tense, present continuous tense, perfect tense. So we're going to have a look at each tense that we can find in the speech. I took it from Greta's video. And yeah, okay, here it is. Simple present tense, usually using the verb 1 or to be is MR, right? Okay, now you can see from the examples here, we have to be is and modal verb can, and then verb 1 sucks, coasts, builds. Those are verb 1 plus s because the subject is singular. And this is another example of simple present tense, usually to indicate habits or general truth. So it's usually use verb 1 and the to be is MR. You can see the to be am, today I am who I am, and the verb 1 urge. This is the example of present continuous tense. It means that something is or action is happening right now. Look at the pattern. Subject plus to be is am or are plus verb 1 plus ing. So as you can see from the examples, we have is breaking down. Our climate is breaking down is to be and followed by verb 1 plus ing. And this is the example of present perfect tense. Artinya sudah atau pernah atau belum pernah. Okay, so look at the pattern. We have has or have followed by verb 3. So for example, I have come to love myself. We have subject I followed by have and then plus verb 3. So when you see subject followed by have or has and then been followed by verb 1 plus ing, it means that the sentence is using present perfect continuous tense. Okay, so sudah terjadi dan sekarang masih sedang berlangsung. Like example, we've been partnering with UNICEF. It means that sekarang masih bekerja sama dengan UNICEF, sudah dan sedang berlangsung. Okay, these are the words that you can use to link your arguments. So if you want to make a sequence, you can use first, second, next, after that, and then if you want to state the result, you can say so or thus or consequently, due to or hence. And then if you want to emphasize some points in your arguments, you can use the words indeed, obviously, in fact, generally, importantly, or in particular, or particularly. Okay, those words you can use to give an emphasis. Okay, move on. If you want to add some addition, or you can say and, furthermore, also, to, as well as, or you want to give a reason, you can use the word for, because, as, since, or because of. Or if you want to give an example, you can say for example, or for instance, that is, or such as, including, or namely. Okay, move on. If you want to say, if you want to compare or want to contrast some things, you can use the word however, nonetheless, still, although, but, yet, or likewise. You want to compare, or similar to, or compared to, or compared with. Okay, those are the words that you can use to link your arguments. Okay, now let's move on. Usually, compound and complex sentences are also used in this kind of text. So basically, it consists of two or more independent clauses and one more dependent clauses. We're going to look at the example of compound sentences and also complex sentences. Okay, so compound basically consists of two or more coordinate clauses. So we have the conjunction like and, but, or yet. But complex, it has one main clauses and one or more subordinate clauses, dependent clauses. We're going to look at the examples of each sentences from complex sentence and compound sentence, like this one. Complex compound. There is a magic machine that sucks carbon out of the air, costs very little, and builds itself its cola tree. It's complex. When compound, we have the conjunction and. They take carbon out of the air and locked it away. Alright, so when we use complex compound, it has clause like that, the conjunction. And also, models are commonly used in hortatory exposition text, and also the pronouns. For example, like giving recommendation, you can use should or can or must. Okay, those models are commonly used. Or you can use the other models like I have to. And as you have watched the video of a speech, actually speech is also one of the examples of hortatory exposition, since it tends to persuade listeners or someone with what you are saying. Alright, I think that's all. I hope you find this video helpful. If you have any questions, do let me know. Drop me some messages. Goodbye everyone. Have a nice day.